Hi everyone and welcome back to Family Model Railway. Now in this Make It Monday video we are going to be cracking on with that far end over there as if, it's still not done yet. The bridges are there, but we're going to be putting in the mountain ranges today. So lots of plaster of Paris, and then we're going to be painting and bringing the area alive really. So let's chit-chatting and let's get on with it. So we're still working on this area. We're going to completely do this scenery now. We've got up the top here, the top of the waterfall. So the water's going to come down and drop into a waterfall, which is then going to create a river here underneath the two main bridges we've got in this section. Cliff sides, we've got tunnels to do. We've got another form of cliffside here. But yeah, this is our main project over the next coming weeks. It is a 3 foot by 5 foot area, and we're working on end gauge, so it takes a little bit of time. And we're going to be putting water in here. I say water, resin, to make it look like a gorge. I'm going to go for a water gorge because along this way, going all the way down to the dock area, eventually, we're going to also have a river running down the front alongside the track here. And at the top here, we're going to have a coal mining, working operational coal mining area. So we're going to have a little bridge over here as well. So this corner is mainly going to be full of bridges, and that's going to be that sort of the attraction to this corner, is the bridge and the coal mine. I do get the odd occasion where you get, can I get to these tracks? I've got two tracks hidden underneath all of here. The answer is yes. I can either be lazy and go underneath the board here, so go underneath and pop up here, or I can take off the top section and remove this bit, and I can get to found a yoga pot there, cool. I can get to all the track underneath for cleaning or protecting derailment. Now this is the bit we're going to be working on today, mainly this area focus here, because I've got a pull out section here where the waterfall's going to go. So this pops out like so. All it's done is made out of polystyrene, and I can get to chop track here, bottom track there if I need to, and it can just slide back in here. So first of all, we're going to start off by sculpting this into cliffside. So out comes a knife and cutting away, so that this will all blend in together. That's the hope. So that's where the waterfall's going to drop. Now, I'm just going to tidy up this area. We're going to cut out, using a knife, the river bed. Yeah, the river bed. So I've already made a shape, is in where the waterfall's going to come down, come all the way through here. So I'm just going to get on and cut that out, so you've got an indentation down here. Okay, before I put the plaster of Paris bandage, I keep getting that wrong. Anyway, before I put the plaster of Paris bandage down, I'm going to use some duct tape. Now, I've seen this done a few times, and what it is we're going to be pouring hot resin for the water into this area, and plaster of Paris sometimes has cracks in it and leaks in it, so the resin may soak through. And then if it soaks through onto the polystyrene here, it gets hot, so then it's just going to bubble up and air's going to come through, and it'll just completely ruin it, and then it might drip down onto the floor down below. So I've seen this done a few times, and I'm going to see how this method works by putting duct tape or T-Rex tape this is, or gaffer tape, or whatever you want to call it, down on the surface first, and then the plaster of Paris on top. So we'll get on with that. Okay, so the next stage we're going to use is the famous Hobbycraft Plaster Paris bandage. I keep saying in quite the last few videos I've used it for all this area. Now, this is for 10 centimetres wide, for 3 metres long, £1. Now, I stock up on these with a couple of bags of Plaster Paris because I don't have a Hobbycraft on the Isle of Wight here with us. So I order it in and you spend over 30 quid, it's free postage. So I usually get myself 15 of these and 3 bags of Plaster Paris. Jobs are good and sit indoors when I need them, like now. I can just get on with it. So anyway, £1, bargain. We all know how these work. Take them out of the pack, make your strips, dip them in water and then sculpt them round. Now, the whole area here is now bandaged, plaster bandaged. The water's coming off of the top here, down the waterfall, down the bottom here and underneath the bridges to here. We're also off of the side here having another waterfall just coming down here from a stream that I'm going to build eventually that will run alongside that side over to the docks. But anyway, this is the main part we're going on. We've got a few bits where this comes out, like so. Like that. I shouldn't have to access it that often, but as you can see here and here I can get to trains now. So, okay, as you guys can see here, let's get my little pointy stick. Just all down here, these gaps are very, very obvious, and to me, I want to try and discard them. Yes, it's a pull-out section. That bit's cool, but I want to try and make it so it's not, so it doesn't look too obvious. Anyway, less of the blabbering. I'm going to do an experiment. I thought you guys could come along and check this out with me. Let's see if it works. Now, my theory behind it is to place down all along the side here, cling film, and then using polyfiller, quick dry and polyfiller, just to fill in the gaps. Now, my head's telling me that once the polyfiller dries, I should be able to pull that section out there, and it shouldn't have stuck to that face because of the cling film. And now I can get rid of the cling film afterwards. So we're going to give that a go and see what happens. Okay, we're going to leave that for some time, get cleaned up, and come back to it in a little while. Right then, we've left this to set for longer than 24 hours. Because I had things I had to do to it yesterday, not because that was the time limit to have it dry. So now it'd be a good idea. I'm going to move these bits out of the way. Just pop them down over there. Sorry. Right, okay. We're now going to take this section out and see if this has done what I hoped it to have done. So, first of all, let's do it a wiggle. Right, well, it moves out okay. Oh, I say that. I've got a bit stuck somewhere. Right. Oh. Now, cling film's come off. Oh, it's still a bit wet down here, so drop that down in a little bin. Right, so that's filled in some little gaps around the corners here and here. Let's see what that looks like. I'm going to put it back in. pushing. Now, not too sure. It may have done the job. We're going to bring you a closer look in ourselves. It may have done the job. Hopefully it has. If not, I think I'll work around it with some floorage or something. Can we focus in on there? Oh, focusing now. Here we go. So we can see, there you are. Yeah, the gaps are there. I might need to use a bit of hedging or something around there, but we'll discard it by the end of the video. Hopefully it won't be so noticeable. Anyway, we're going to move on to painting the undercoat now. So the whole area I'm going to paint down with a 50-50 mix of this Woodland Scenics earth colour and water. So we've watered it down because we want more of a nice soft mix. So you put it on and it just pretty much just, this is an undercoat. The reason I do the undercoat, well, the reason a lot of people do the undercoat is because when you put on scenic grass and things like that, is if you miss a gap, a spot, the brown or the undercoat that you've used is less noticeable than the white. Now, if we just left the white plaster Paris, you may see bits of the white come through on your scenery. Now, if we use a brown, like a wood or a natural colour, it doesn't show so much. If anything, you might see some contrast in shadows, really. So that's about it. But anyway, I'm going to do this whole area and then come back to you when we get on to the next coat. I put on an undercoat and I wasn't completely convinced that my rock formations around here quite look like rocks. They just look like, I don't know, they just didn't look right. So I accidentally discovered, I'm late to the game, guys, by the way, you probably know this. Not that I'm late, but this technique. But so I just got some plaster Paris again, and I've just dolloped it all over the place. I don't know if that's the correct term, dollop it. And I'm just waiting for it to semi-set, and then I'm just getting like the wallpaper scraper and just creating more of a larger rock formation round. Now, rocks are brilliant because there's no actual real definition to the shape of a rock. Their nature burns them in any way, forms them in any way going. So you just dab along and create. Now, what will happen here as well is that I get a smaller piece to start crafting, sculpting areas that hopefully will start to look like rocks, but bits flake off. And then with them flaking off into areas like just down here, I don't know if you can see it so well, but I'll come back to that in a moment and I'll show you the other side what I've done, because this is sort of working. Just needs it to dry a little bit more. But it's on the main lift face bit, and I'm just pretty much creating more rock formations just to stand out a bit more rather than having a flat edge. But if I just bring the camera around, I'll show you what I mean regarding the flakiness. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Now here, let's see. There we go. Let's zoom in down here. Let's go into focus. We're going there. There we are. As you can see, all of this here has gone out of focus again. There we are. All of that there is just plaster Paris that's been scraped away from the edge there. And it looks brilliant, I think, anyway. There's some more down here underneath the bridges. There. And down on the bottom here. I have created, here we go, it's a bit better, more rock formation sort of thing. So what I'm going to do here, zoom back out, is just add a few more bits around the area here, and then come back to you when I feel as though it looks nice. But yeah, I'm just pretty much like here now is just knocking some of these bits off, and they just fall naturally to the bottom, as does rock in real life, and they create these lovely little piles at the bottom. So yeah, that's that part. Okay, well, I've put the extra rock, sprayed it grey, and now I'm going over with a yellow orchid, I think. Let's have a look. Another earth colour, yellow ochre, Weathered Scenic one again. But yeah, pretty much, it's I'm trying to create, the reason we've got darker lighters and everything, there will be a final coat. It's all about layers, I think, and it's a bit like, the reason I've gone for the darker ones, the grey, the dark, the yellow, the white bits, it's all about contrast, a bit like photography really. You're going for highlights and shadows, and that's what really makes a scene. You want it to stand out, and I don't honestly think there's any right or wrong way. Some people have better methods than this, but I'm just pretty much just splodging it on all over. And what's going to happen is, this is again a 50-50 mix, water and paint. The darker layers are going to come through underneath, and then the lighter layers are going to make it look as if there's the shadows and the highlights. Yeah, well, anyway, I'm just blabbering again. I'm going to just get on with this and do it, and as you can see already, lighter and darker, but when it dries I then go for another colour on top. I've still not decided what colour I want this rock face yet, whether we're going for a desert, canyon sort of area, or mountain cliff face. I'll get there. I'm just putting in the areas at the moment that I want to stand out. Wow, what a transformation. I do even surprise myself sometimes, actually. I really love what I've done here, so I'm going to finish here and not go too far ahead of myself. There's still a fair bit to do, and if you guys are really enjoying what I'm bringing to you, please don't forget, hit that subscribe button. It means so much to us over here at Family Model Railways that you guys are following us and let us know. Also, chuck in loads of comments. What do you reckon of the rock faces? I'm shocked. I look at it and I love it. The colours have turned out great, and the area itself is all coming together, I think. But anyway, guys, do come back for our next videos. The next one on this, we're going to hopefully have the bridges in place properly and everything all done with the river and the waterfall. So do come join us. See you for now.